Good evening and welcome tonight. INEC raises hopes over distribution of more permanent voter cards before the 2015 election date. European Union election observers continue assessment of INEC's preparedness for the election. Cholera claims 10 lives in a fresh outbreak in Inoma village in Anambra State. At least 3 people have been shot dead by militants at a luxury hotel in Libya.
On business news tonight, no need to panic is a message to Nigerians as the CBN promises to continue to stimulate growth.
And in sports news, Thomas Berdych stuns Rafa Nadal in the quarterfinals of the Australian Open, progressing to the semis at the Spaniard's expense.
The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has assured political parties in the country that the commission can overcome the challenges of PVC collection before the election next month. Professor Tahiru Jega said this at a consultative meeting of the Inter-Party Advisory Council and INEC in Abuja on the readiness of the electoral umpire for the polls. The visit of the chairman of the council, Yunusa Tanko, and his team is coming amid anxiety among Nigerians of the likely disenfranchisement due to the non-collection of permanent voter cards. Our correspondent, Larry Lasisi, reports.
These are national chairmen and representatives of registered political parties in the country. They're here for a consultative meeting with officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The Commission said it's a good time to review preparations for the coming general elections and listen to concerns and observations. The INEC chairman said the Commission is confident it can overcome most of the challenges confronting it well before the elections,
such as the challenges of the distribution of the permanent voters' cards. We feel confident that with the measures and mechanisms we have in place, that these challenges are challenges that we can overcome and overcome them well in advance of the conduct of the 2015 general election. Urging Nigerians to be patient with the delays in the distribution of the cards, but to also remain resolute in coming out to collect their permanent voters' cards.
The chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council had some advice for the Commission and the federal government.
The issue of the permanent voters' card still continue to generate issues in the polity. We want to advise strongly that day-to-day distribution of this particular PVC should be made known to the Nigerian public to give them confidence that INEC is on the right track. The Inter-Party Advisory Council want to use this opportunity to call on the federal government to declare a public holiday to enable all registered voters to go out and collect these PVCs.
Representatives of some of the political parties present also spoke on the possibility of the elections being postponed.
And somebody like a national security advisor who should have intelligence report about the heartbeat of the Nigerian people shouldn't have been the one making this kind of suggestion. But it's reassuring that INEC has said that the timetable still stands.
Of course. First of all, we want INEC to make a statement, a very clear statement, that the dates of 14th and 28th are sacrosanct. No one should interfere with the conduct of these elections on the 14th and 28th. We want INEC to double its efforts to make sure that all voters get their PVCs before the elections.
This meeting is also expected to discuss the relocation of polling units, preparations for IDP voting, and the distribution of non-sensitive election materials, issues that will help ensure preparations for the coming elections are adequate and result in credible elections. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the EU chief observer has picked holes in what he calls the non-implementation of recommendations made by the EU monitors during the 2011 general elections. Mr. Santiago Aguilera told Channels Television in Abuja that his team made as many as 50 recommendations to the federal government, but only a few, including the Freedom of Information law, saw the light of day. He said Nigeria is too important to be ignored by the EU, regardless of the inability of the government to put their recommendations into action.
Some of the recommendations passed, for instance, the Freedom Press Act. That's an important thing. We have made other recommendations that at the moment the Nigerian Parliament didn't implement, but we are following all this process and we see what happens with all these recommendations. It's one of the most important countries, perhaps the most one in all Africa, sure, in the south part of Africa, and a very wealthy country, a country with connections very important on the regions. And everything that happens in Nigeria is important for the region, it's important for Europe, it's important for the whole world.
And ahead of the February 14 presidential election, President Goodluck Jonathan has assured Nigerians that a vote for him and other People's Democratic Party aspirants is a vote for youth empowerment and grassroots development. Addressing the party supporters at a rally in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, President Jonathan said the focus of his administration is not to build prisons, but to empower women and young people in all fields of endeavor.
From all walks of life, the people of Nasarawa State converged on Lafia Township Stadium to witness the arrival of the campaign train of President Goodluck Jonathan, who is seeking re-election for a second term. Like a general who is sure of his strategies, President Jonathan told the crowd to vote the People's Democratic Party at all levels, beginning with the presidential election on February 14. He assured the youths of massive empowerment.
It is not my age bracket that will talk about taking us to the moon. It is the people of 18 about that will take this country to the moon. So this is a government that believes in the young people, a government that will help and develop the young people, a government that will build more schools, more nursery schools, more primary schools, more secondary schools, more colleges of education, more polytechnics, more universities for our children. And I promise it's not my interest to build prisons. It is not my interest to build prisons. Yes, those who are contravening our laws must be dealt with according to law.
The Speaker of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly vowed to reclaim the state from the opposition party, saying the People's Democratic Party has the majority in the House.
Without being told, you have seen it for yourself that PDP is Nasarawa State, Nasarawa State is PDP. Nasarawa State has been PDP from 1999. There was some little mishap by 2011, and we are fully ready. We have identified the loopholes and we are fully ready to see that we deliver PDP for Nasarawa State in 2015.
A frontline female politician in the state showered encomiums on President Jonathan, saying the women of the state will be mobilized en masse to vote for the president and all other aspirants contesting election on the platform of the People's Democratic Party.
What happened in 2011 during the presidential election in Nasarawa State? Mr. President won the state, and I want to assure you that with God by our side, it will repeat itself by 2015. We are mobilizing women en masse to come out and vote for Mr. President and vote for PDP generally.
Another member of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly expressed confidence in the party of achieving victory come February 14.
Now that you know that we have 20 members in the House of Assembly, you can see the Mamo crowd yourself prove to you that yes, Nasarawa State is ready and competently ready to take over.
The campaign was held amidst tight security, with party supporters singing and dancing in anticipation of victory at the polls.
Staying with electoral matters, although not a single vote has been cast in Ado, Opoku and Ogbadibo Benue State, a winner does seem to have emerged from the House of Representatives in that constituency. The candidate nominated for the seat, Christian Adaba Abba, from the People's Democratic Party, is the only one seeking election into the House. According to the 2010 Electoral Act, it is expected that he be declared elected on the day of the election.
Yeah, the law provides for it, that if there is a candidate who has been nominated and there is no other candidate nominated for that position, then the candidate that has been nominated will have to, there will still be a form of election. Let me make that clear. It is not true, unlike what you find in the paper, that he has already been declared a winner. No, that has not happened. On election day, there will still be an election for people to indicate yes or no, upon which the results of that process will now be announced concerning that candidate. But so far, he's the only person who has been nominated by his party. All other parties did not put in a nomination for that seat.
And in part two, after the break, NCC bans use of SMS for political campaigns. The APC kicks against it. Please stay with us.